following subject matter is real and only intended for mature audiences. Discretion is advised.
People are dead after deputies say a man went on a shooting rampage.
I knew a week before she died I was going to kill her.
I can tell you the scene out there is absolutely horrific.
Nobody knows where this individual may strike next.
This is 10-Minute Murder.
Welcome to 10-Minute Murder, brief and bingeable true crime. My name is Joe, I'm the host, and thank you for being here today, tonight, or whatever time it is right now. If you're new to 10-Minute Murder, I hope that you'll subscribe. If you decide that you're into brief stories about true crime, and wherever you listen or watch, there should be a button that says collect, or follow, or subscribe, something like that. Just hit that button, and you won't miss any future episodes of 10-Minute Murder. And a handful of the episodes are available here on YouTube, and since the beginning of time, all of them are available to listen wherever you listen to podcasts. You can subscribe there as well so that you don't miss any episodes at all. You can also connect with 10-Minute Murder on Facebook and Instagram. I post visuals there that go along with the episodes that you hear about, along with other things. Plus, it's an easy way to contact me if you want to do that. In the show notes of this episode, you'll find links to connect, or just as easily, you can type 10-Minute Murder into the search bar inside Facebook and Instagram, and it'll pop right up. Now, you may not be into heavy metal music, and to be honest with you, it's not really my thing either. I've covered stories about other musical artists that have been murdered on episodes, Sam Cooke, Selena, Pop Smoke, being a few of them, but those were all people that I have actively at one time listened to. Today is a little bit different in that the music of Darrell Abbott wasn't the draw to do this episode. It was the way his music changed an entire genre. The metal community was shocked to its core on December 8th, 2004. That day was difficult enough for many of those in the music community because it marked the 24th anniversary of John Lennon's death. But nobody was ready for history to repeat itself. Pantera and Damageplan guitarist Dimebag Darrell were shot and killed on stage in the middle of his band's performance. How one of the most beloved and respected musicians in heavy metal was suddenly gunned down in cold blood, we'll never know exactly. But like John Lennon's case, the person behind the attack was someone who you would never thought would kill a member of the band, a hardcore fan. Darrell Lance Abbott was born August 20th, 1966, into a musical family in Enos, Texas. His father, Jerry Abbott, was a country and western songwriter and producer. His brother, Vinnie Paul, had been born 2 years earlier. And even though the parents divorced in 1979 after 17 years of marriage, Darrell and Vinnie would go on to have a happy childhood. The two stayed with their mother mostly, Carolyn, who supported their son's strong interest in music. And obviously, Jerry did too, being part of the music industry himself and able to recognize their talent. At 12, Darrell's journey with the guitar started. Vinnie was 14 and he was getting pretty good on the drums and didn't want Darrell to play them anymore. As a result, Darrell told their father, "I gotta have an instrument to play. Get me a guitar." And a guitar he got. He didn't even know how to play it yet, but that didn't stop him from posing in front of a mirror with it in his hands, Ace Frehley makeup covering his face. However, just a month later, Darrell asked his brother to jam and started riffing Smoke on the Water. The two brothers played for 6 hours straight that day, and Vinnie later said the music was the incredible bond that made him and Darrell inseparable. As Darrell became more and more serious about his guitar playing, he started entering local guitar talent competitions. He won a bunch of those, so many that they made him a competition judge. They didn't want him to compete anymore because no one stood a chance when they went up against Darrell. However, in one of those competitions, in 1982, Darrell won an instrument that would eventually become his signature guitar, a maroon Dean ML. It wasn't really love at first sight though, and Darrell actually sold the guitar to his friend, Buddy Blaze's bandmate, but Buddy eventually traded for it. He took it and made extensive changes to the guitar, replacing the hardware and painted it blue and black with a lightning bolt finish. Buddy eventually returned the ML to Darrell in 1987, who at first didn't recognize the guitar as the one he had won 5 years earlier. This time, Darrell was in love with it. The guitar became his go-to and was later dubbed Dean from Hell. Long before he was reunited with the ML, Darrell co-formed heavy metal band Pantera, along with his brother, drummer Vinnie Paul, and Terry Glaze. The original lineup also included Donnie Hart as lead singer and bassist Tommy D. Bradford. However, in 1982, Donnie left the band, and Terry became the group's lead singer, leaving both lead and rhythm duties to Darrell. Later that year, Tommy also left and was replaced by Rex Brown. And Pantera originally had a glam metal style and was image-conscious, taking inspiration from Kiss, Van Halen, and Judas Priest. The members of the band wore spandex, makeup, and hairspray in their hair when on stage. When Darrell was 16, the band released their first album, Metal Magic, produced by the Abbott brothers' father, Jerry. Eventually, Darrell and Vinnie wanted to move toward a heavier sound with their music, taking influence from bands like Metallica and Slayer. That didn't sit right with Terry, who left his place as the vocalist in 1986. He was replaced by Phil Anselmo later that year. The new vocalist was followed by the key turning point for the band, the major label debut Cowboys from Hell in 1990. The band left their glam metal influences in favor of a mid-tempo thrash metal that was dubbed Power Groove. Pantera played close to 200 shows supporting the album over the course of 2 years, and Darrell was quickly gaining a reputation as a wild figure on tour and a heavy drinker. But still, he was said to be the nicest guy in the world and everybody's best friend. When the band's second major label album, Vulgar Display of Power, was released in 1992, Pantera made its mainstream breakthrough. They were thrust to the forefront of the metal scene alongside veteran bands, the same bands Darrell and his brother had looked up to. They were now shoulder to shoulder with their idols. At this point, Darrell felt like he needed a new name, and he adopted the stage name Dimebag Darrell. The name originated from the fact that Darrell never held more than a dime bag or $10 worth of cannabis at one time. Unfortunately, as soon as Pantera found its place as one of the most popular heavy metal groups in the 1990s, it began to self-destruct. The band's vocalist, Phil, started acting weird, well, weirder than normal, and distancing himself from the others. Just 2 months after the release of the Great Southern Trendkill in 1996, on July 13, Phil overdosed on heroin, which he had been using to self-medicate for back pain. Phil survived, but tension rose between him and his fellow band members, and Phil became more involved with numerous side projects that kept him away from Pantera, resulting in Darrell and Vinnie officially disbanding the group in November of 2003. Phil later commented on the situation in a 2004 issue of Metal Hammer magazine, saying that Darrell had been attacking him verbally and deserves to be beaten severely. Even though Phil later tried to brush off his comments, saying they were made tongue-in-cheek, they might have played a role in some of the gruesome events that took place later the same year. After Pantera disbanded, Darrell and Vinnie formed a new band named Damageplan, whose first and only studio album, Newfound Power, was an immediate success. The band had spent most of its 2004 on its Devastation Across the Nation tour, and on December 8th, Darrell was getting ready with his brother for the performance that night, a show that he didn't know would be his last one. The two brothers were warming up on the side of the stage like they always did, and they only had 2 shows left before returning home for Christmas. And Darrell and Vinnie had their own special word or code phrase when they wanted to turn it up to another level: Van Halen. Those were the last 2 words Darrell ever said to his brother before taking the stage that night. A minute and a half later, everything was over. In the crowd inside Alrosa Villa Club in Columbus, Ohio, was a 25-year-old named Nathan Gale. As Damageplan played the first song from its set list, Nathan rushed onto the stage and shot Darrell multiple times with a 9mm semi-automatic pistol at point-blank range. In the confusion that followed, Nathan also shot and killed Damageplan security head Jeffrey Thompson, who had tried to tackle the shooter, and also venue staff member Aaron Hawk, as he tried to disarm him. Unfortunately, one of Damageplan's fans, Nathan Bray, became the 4th and final victim, as he attempted to perform CPR on Darrell. Nathan had time to wound 3 others before a Columbus police officer entered the club just minutes after the rampage started, and he shot him once in the head, killing him instantly. Darrell was pronounced dead at the scene at the age of 38. Thousands of mourning fans attended his public memorial, grieving the loss of one of the all-time greatest metal guitarists, and just an all-around nice guy. When authorities interviewed those who knew Nathan Gale, a strange world of the deranged superfan started to unfold. According to those close to him, Nathan had been a huge fan of Pantera. Former friend Mark Brake said that Nathan had been obsessed with the band, even trying to present Pantera's songs as his own to be played by a friend's band. And obviously those lyrics were recognized by the band members, resulting in Nathan claiming that Pantera actually stole the songs from him, and he planned to sue them. Nathan's bizarre behavior, which included talking to himself and interacting with an imaginary dog, continued causing people to distance themselves from him. Still, there was no warning sign that his behavior would take a violent turn. Initial reports after the shooting claimed that Nathan had shouted, "You broke up Pantera," or "This is for breaking up Pantera," before killing Darrell. However, the investigation found that no evidence to support this statement, nor any evidence whatsoever to confirm the whole idea of Pantera's split being behind the attack. Whatever was Nathan's real motive, many believed that Phil's interview with Metal Hammer had something to do with it. Darrell's girlfriend, Rita Haney, even said that she would, quote, blow Anselmo's head off if he attended Darrell's funeral. He didn't. Dimebag Darrell's death sent shockwaves throughout the music community, but so did his work as a musician. Even though December 8th, 2004 is remembered as the worst day in metal history, it was Darrell's life that changed the direction of metal music completely. That's today's 10-minute murder, brief and bingeable true crime. Thanks for listening today, and before you go, subscribe to the show and connect on social media. The links for that are in the show notes of this episode if you need them. Also, if you want to directly send me an email, you can do that by sending one to 10minutemurder@gmail.com. You can suggest future story topics or send me soup recipes. I'll accept any of those. Thank you for listening to 10 Minute Murder. Have a good night.